Hi, I'm Alysha. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I own a private practice, and I teach other nurse practitioners how to find freedom and balance in their lives by starting private practices as well. So we are continuing on the splurge versus save series, and today I am going to be talking about splurge versus save when it comes to administrative and operational things, needs. Let's get into it. So, of course, so many people have the dreaded admin work fear of starting a private practice, but I will say that having the right systems can be an absolute game changer for you, and that includes automated systems or hiring really wonderful people to help you. So, let's talk about some things that you might want to spend a little bit more money on in your practice and some things that you might want to save on. So let's start with things to save on. So honestly, this is going to sound really weird, but like one of the most important things in the operation of my practice, I feel like I am saving on, and that is my EMR. So this video isn't sponsored or anything, but I love Intake Queue / Practice Queue. I feel like it is awesome. They have lots of integrations. So I feel like I either save money or I save like time and energy by having it all in one system. So they have e-prescribing, they have labs, they have fax, it's an EMR, you can send the patient their forms. So very, very helpful to have it all in one place. And I do feel like this is a save because there are so many EMRs that are crazy expensive. And they have all of the bells and whistles, and honestly, I don't really like any of that because it makes it more confusing for me to figure out how to use it. I feel like Intake Queue, even though you have to build it out yourself, I like it better because then you can customize it to yourself. So that would be a save, but in my mind, it feels like a splurge because it's one of the most important things. Then I'm going to get into something that could be a splurge or a save. I personally am on more of the save side of it. So for bookkeeping and payroll, I use Wave and Gusto. However, some people don't want to use systems like that and just want to like hire someone to do it. So that would be more of a splurge thing. Like if that just feels like that's confusing or overwhelming for you, and you want to hire that out, that's fine. That's fine to splurge on. Honestly, in these discussions about splurge versus save, a lot of the conversation really is around how much time and energy you want to put in something versus how much money you want to put into something, because time is money, right? But like when you're a brand new practice, you might have all this time, right? As like you're building, I mean, like not all this time, most people are working jobs to fund their startup, but most people have more time than when they're like fully in it and have a full patient panel. So these might be, that's why I kind of give like a couple of these options, because honestly, you might save in the beginning and then splurge later. Let's talk about a few things to splurge on. So one, this is going to sound really silly, but like I don't know if you'll need it in the beginning, kind of depends on your practice setup, but a good printer and scanner, I feel like it can get really annoying when you get like cheap ones and they don't work. So I wouldn't go super cheap on that, but I also wouldn't go like super high end if you're not using it a lot. But that could be something that could get annoying and waste a lot of time and ultimately waste money if you just buy another one. So could be something to think about. Those are not things that I was using that much in the beginning, but I use more now because I am getting more like physical mail sent to my practice, which wasn't super common in the beginning. A big one, like I feel like this is the biggest topic of this video, is I feel like hiring an admin assistant is like more of a splurge, but I mean it could be more of a save because I didn't hire an admin assistant for the first about year and a half, almost 2 years that I owned my practice, because I had the time to be able to do the admin work and then also see patients, but eventually, you know, the time just wasn't there, and so I had to hire out for that. So it was a save in the beginning. Like I don't think like day one you need an admin assistant unless you're I own a cash practice, so maybe, so maybe you might need to hire someone day one if you're credentialed with a ton of insurance and you have an influx of patients. That case, sure, you might need to hire an admin assistant right away. But if you are starting a small cash-based practice or you're just paneled with a couple of insurances, you can probably do a lot of the admin tasks on your own. And so honestly, once you do hire an admin, I recommend then it shifts into splurge mode, because save mode is like no admin. I don't really like the in-between, because the in-between would mean hiring someone for just like a little bit of hours, or hiring someone and paying them very little. I don't know that that's the best, because unless you're working with an admin company and the rate is low, that's different. Like if the rate is low, like that's like fine. But if you're like interviewing individuals and you're trying to get someone for like the absolute cheapest, I don't know if that's the best way to go, because an admin assistant can make or break like a busy practice. And so I feel like you want to treat that person well and you want to keep them and have them stay, right? So I would recommend, once you decide to do an have an admin assistant, you're going to either go with like one of the companies and just like that's their rate, no problem. Or if you're interviewing people, I would not try to go the cheapest. And I would also, whether you're working with a virtual assistant company or hiring someone just like from Indeed or someone in your that you know, I would recommend to not hire for the absolute minimum amount of hours, because honestly, you probably don't want to be in this like limbo of like, oh, I'll give them a little bit, and like, oh, I'll keep a lot of admin tasks. Like, I feel like you want to hire someone, you want to train them, you want to like commit to really offloading stuff for you, and not just like, oh, like just let me just hire you for prior auths or something like that. I think it would be good to be like, okay, I'm officially offloading stuff. So I would recommend that you do a bit more of a splurge there. So you may be wondering when the time is to hire an admin. Those of you that are watching this that are starting a brand new private practice, good to know, but going to be probably a little bit more important for those of you that are more in the active like practice building phase. So you are going to, if you're wondering, right, it probably means you probably need some help. I don't recommend hiring an admin until you know what admin tasks you have. That's also why I don't really recommend from the beginning, because you want to see what you're actually going to have to do. And you don't want to hire an admin because like there's certain tasks that you don't want to do, because then you're going to get into this weird place where like you don't want to do them and then you don't know how to do them. And then if the admin leaves, you're kind of like stuck, right? But honestly, so you're going to want to conduct a time audit. If you're wondering, do I need to do this? Do I not? Conduct a time audit, write down every single thing you're doing in your day, exactly how much time it takes, and if it has to be you. That's the key. Does it have to be you doing that task? Writing notes, could be a scribe, could be you, depends. Writing prescriptions, definitely has to be you. Certain things. So you'll write down all your tasks, then combine that time, and then you'll know how much time you're going to need an admin for, daily, weekly, monthly. So you want to do a time audit. You will want to also do a budget, really, before you hire someone to help. You're going to want to have like a good idea of how much you can actually pay them, and not hire someone just like, and you don't know, you can get into kind of like a sticky situation there, obviously. So those are some tips for hiring admin assistant. So that was a little bit of a look into splurge versus save when it comes to administrative and operational needs. Of course, there are so many more, obviously. In my private practice building mentorship program, I go through all of my systems in detail, how I use them, my workflow, all of that. So if you're looking for step-by-step guidance on practice starting, and if you're looking to know exactly how I operationalize my private practice, I am open to taking a look at your application. So if you could click the link below and you are interested in joining my private practice starting mentorship program, then you would watch the intro video / masterclass, apply for the program, and I will receive your application and hopefully meet with you from there and give you more details. And so thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you feel that it was helpful, like and subscribe, comment, send it to a friend that's building a private practice. And as always, happy practice building, guys. Until next time.